So I just ended up watching The Order, directed by Justin Kurzel, known for 2015's Macbeth, Town Murders, and Assassin's Creed, starring Jude Law, Hoult, Jurnee Smollett, and Tye Sheridan. A string of violent robberies in the Pacific Northwest leads veteran FBI agent Terry Husk to a white supremacist group. The group plans to overthrow the federal government, based on a true story. I probably put it in the thumbnail, but this reminds me of Heat so much. It's basically about this extremist white supremacy group that kind of branched off from more conservative one that wants to have influence in government mostly, and this offshoot is basically just violent terrorists. They're robbing banks, they're robbing armored trucks. So in that way, it's like Heat, except for it takes place in the Pacific Northwest, like I just said in the synopsis, and not like the city in Heat. So instead of, buildings, you've basically got mountainside, and it is beautiful looking. The cinematography is fantastic in this. Jude Law, who plays the FBI agent, is great. Hoult, who plays the leader of this white supremacist group, is also fantastic. I'd be remiss not to mention Marc Maron is also in this as a radio host, a Jewish radio host, who it's a very small role, but it's a very pivotal role as well. Hoult, he's having quite a December. He's in this, he's in Juror number 2, he's in Nosferatu. It's a bit of a slow burn, but when it picks up, the action really just punches. Just like the sound of the guns is just startling in this movie, more than I've seen in other movies as of late. What really resonates with me in this movie, it depicts these white supremacists, these Nazis, and it focuses on them without making them just two-dimensional villains, and that you see why people would go this route through economic repression, but it doesn't try to make them too sympathetic either. It really does a great job at that fine line. And it's really kind of fascinating, just this terrorist group just being an offshoot of this almost cultish white supremacist group that they weren't going far enough. And it's one of the very few movies that actually bring up the Turner Diaries. Now, I haven't read the Turner Diaries, but from what I've heard, it's basically it's a fictional white supremacist wet dream that seems like it was written by a 6-year-old. That's just from what I've gathered from what I've heard of it. And it tells at the beginning of the movie that the Turner Diaries is actually very influential in the Oklahoma City bombing, as well as the insurrection on January 6th, which that's a much fresher thing, and it's probably going to piss people off, but it's the fucking truth. If I would have to criticize this movie for anything, it's got a lot of characters in it. A lot of them are sort of a little two-dimensional maybe, but it's very light criticism. I think this was just a great crime film, especially with the subject matter. It is very relevant to today. So I'd have to give it 4 out of 5 stars. Definitely worth checking out. I don't think it's showing in many theaters. It's probably going to be on VOD here pretty soon, which is unfortunate. I think it should have got a wider release and probably had a better time. But what did you think of The Order? Let me know down in the comments. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, because we're almost to 100 subscribers. It'd be nice to hit that at the end of the year. Check out our Discord server. The link is below, and I'll see you later.